Morning, everybody. My name is Jared O'Leary. I've been drumming since 1998, and I still got plenty to work on. Today, I'm going to continue to work on inverted triplet diddle. If you don't know what that is, stick around. You'll find out here in a moment. Now, in these practice streams, there's over 400 of them. I like to share what I'm practicing, how I'm trying to improve as somebody who's been drumming for almost 30 years. In all of these videos, there are timestamps in the description to show what I was practicing or what I was talking about. Because I've got multiple different chats up on here, I often get some questions from people about how to drum, because I've been drumming for so long, or how to teach, because I've taught every grade, kindergarten through doctoral student, and I'll often edit those answers and put them into this drumming tips playlist that has over 100 videos, over 14 hours of drumming tips, like what to listen in for when isolating your hands, or inverted rolls. Actually, we'll be working on that here in a moment. But if it says, and other drumming tips, that means the title is the first thing I talk about, and then there's other stuff inside of these videos. So if you're interested in learning more tips from different questions that people have asked across all the different streams I've done, check out this playlist, which you can find on my home tab of YouTube, along with over 2,000 hours of free drumming exercises, so like chop exercises. There's also over 1,000 grid variations. So many you have to click on the header, and then it shows you all the different playlists right here. And then a little bit further down, we got limb independence, which I worked on yesterday. We've got almost 500 marching bass exercises, a bunch of drumline cadences, a few hundred technique exercises. This one you also have to click to show all of the different playlists. In fact, I'll be working out of this one here in a minute. And then we've also got the 14 hours of drumming tips, some scripted drumming lessons, and then over 400 live streams. So, tons of content to keep you busy. Now, I need to get motivated to work on my drumming today. So Shia LaBeouf here is going to help me to get motivated. So I'm going to hide Shia because of copyright. Shia, I just don't feel like drumming today. I just don't want to do it. Do it! Just do it! Don't let your dreams be dreams. Yesterday, you said tomorrow. So just do it. Make your dreams come true. Just do it. Some people dream success. Well, you're going to wake up and work hard at it. Nothing is impossible. You should get to the point where anyone else would quit, and you're not going to stop there. No, what are you waiting for? Do it. Just do it. Yes, you can. Just do it. If you're tired of starting over, stop giving up. Oh, wow, Shia LaBeouf. I am so motivated now. I am so ready to drum. Now, I'm going to be using my website. This is the link that's right above me if you're on the vertical. It's the first link in every one of the play-alongs. It's just an easier way to find everything. So here's all the 62 chop exercises. Here's the 1,000-plus grid variations, all the limb independent stuff, the 476 marching bass stuff, the drumline cadences, and 386 technique exercises. Now, the one that I'm going to warm up with is the one that I'm going to be grinding out. So we're going to go into triplet diddle playlist right here. And this currently has 18 videos in here, so a variety of different exercises. Now, the exercise that I'm working on is triplet diddle with 4 counts. But instead of playing it normally, I'm doing it with inverted diddles. So if we look at this, that's not the resolution I would like. Thank you, though. I appreciate your suggestion, YouTube. So if we look at the way it's written out, it's all the same rhythms as a normal triplet diddle. So if you're playing triplet diddle, etc. But this has it, instead of right, right, left, right, it's right, left, left, right, left, right, right, left. What? So if you actually look at the roll here, we have a single right hand followed by a roll. Left, left, right, right, left, left, right, right. So instead of playing the exercises right, right, left, left, right, right, left, left, right, excuse me, for the roll, it's got a single right hand followed by a roll. Not a tap roll. It's not. There's no space in there. It's just right, left, left, right, right, left, left, right, right, left, left, right, right. It ends with a double right on the end. Weird, I know. But why would you want to work on this? Because it allows you to feel the second note of a diddle on the subdivision. So instead of playing trip, oh, let, with the first note landing on the subdivision, you're going trip, oh, let, trip, trip-o-let, 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 trip, okay? So the second note ends on the subdivision. This is a great way to work on your interpretation of your diddles to make sure you are not having that diddle come in late on the second note and to make it so your rolls don't sound like nice and weak second note. We don't want that. We want strong second notes. Okay. So we're going to warm up with this. We're just continuing where we left off last time. And then we'll stretch and massage, and then we'll continue to grind this out. Stay tuned. Volume up. Oops. Cut. Hey, appreciate it. That's why my shirt says grinding for XP. Always on the grind. Okay, so I'm going to play this 5 times, and then I'm going to stretch and massage, and then we'll just continue to play through it. Just warming up the hands. Thank you for the like. Cool. One more rep. Thank you for the follow. Now, if this is too fast for you, you're like, cool, love the exercise, love the idea of an inverted roll, inverted diddles, you can go slower. So in prior streams, we started at 40, using the timestamps in the description, and just went one click at a time faster until we got to where we're at right now, and we're just going to keep going and going. You're on guitar? Nice. There's a couple of guitars over there, but I don't actually play them. My wife does. It's one of the few instruments that I have not learned. For my undergrad, I had to learn every band and orchestra instrument to become a band director, general music director, etc. Right now I'm stretching the sides of the forearms. Ooh, feels good. Oh yeah. And then to do the stretch, just go back out the way you came. There's a video on my home tab of YouTube that's under the drumming lessons playlist that has all these stretches that I'm about to do, as well as some extra ones if you do traditional grips, some like rotary stretches. But it has better camera angles, so you can see these stretches with an explanation. Now I'm going to stretch the underside of the forearm, so you could pull back like this. I demonstrated this in yesterday's stream. What I'm going to do now is show you how you can do it on the wall. The lower you go, the deeper the stretch. Just don't put all your weight into it. You don't want to rip your arms off or anything. That'd probably be bad, but I don't know. Maybe you're into that. You do you. Oh, that feels great. Now I'm going to stretch the top side of the forearm, so you could pull it back like this. You could do it on your pad. You could do it on your leg like I demonstrated yesterday, but if you do this one on the wall, the higher you go, the deeper the stretch. But again, don't put all your weight into it. And for the final stretch, I'm going to do thumb to thumb. So I'm doing each finger on the other finger, on the other hand. It just makes it go twice as fast doing it this way. Whatever instrument you play, highly recommend doing a stretch and massage routine for your hands. It'll keep them healthy. I've been drumming for almost 30 years now, but I almost had to stop in the mid-2000s because of injuries and whatnot. And then I went and saw a hand specialist, like a doctor of handing. Whoop, there you go. And developed this stretch and massage routine that I do in every one of my streams. Do this at least once or twice a day. Highly recommend. 10 out of 10. Keep your hands healthy. Or don't and regret it. You do you. What do I know? Okay, that's the end of the stretches. Now what I'm going to do is massage. So I'm doing from the larger to the smaller. So we're going from forearm to hand to fingers, just like we were stretching right here. You ever think of stretching your arms? Yeah, so tension works its way down through your body. So you could be tense up in your neck, which would make you tense up in your biceps or your triceps, which could make you tense in your forearms, which then leads into your hands, which leads into your fingers. So I do a workout before I do these streams. So I do all the stretches and whatnot for the upper body, for the neck. So I don't demonstrate that on the streams, but starting from here and working your way down, it just helps relax everything. It's amazing how you might feel tense in your hands, but if you massage your forearms, you'll be like, oh, wow, that actually helped my hands, because the tension just kind of creeps its way down. And I'll show you at the end of this the video that I was talking about that gives you the better camera angles so you can see the stretch and massage routine. It's only 3 minutes long, so it's short. But if you do this at least once or twice a day, it can have a profound impact on your just overall health with drumming or making music, or even using your keyboard a bunch. It's just good. A good daily habit. In fact, we had in studio during my undergrad, which is where the percussionists all come together and perform for each other. We had a hand specialist after my injury come in and take a look at just everybody playing, and they're like, I don't know why we're not seeing all of you as clients, because all of your hands are going to be messed up. When playing Steven's grip and whatnot, 4 mallets, the amount of tension that can go into this kind of approach when playing some crazy marimba stuff, or rudimental, or timpani, or whatever. It can mess up your hands. So doing this, it just takes a few minutes each day, but it's worth it. Thumb is massaging the palm, fingers massaging the back side of the hand. You're taking the test for a music school tomorrow? Well, good luck. Yeah. Try and set yourself up for success. So get some sleep. Eat something nutritious, good proteins, carbs, fats balance. You're gonna massage base at the tip of each one of the fingers. Know that what you've done up until this moment has helped prepare you for your test. Is it an audition, or is it a written test? Auditions are interesting. So I didn't really realize this until grad school, but there's often in schools in music a limited number of seats available. And even if you're like one of the best in the world, they might not have a seat open for you, whether it's to get into the program or to get a scholarship. So like I got a full ride in percussion performance during my undergrad, but even if I played as well as I did for my audition, if they didn't have that scholarship available, I wouldn't have gotten it. So it's interesting how that's not really well known. Like a lot of the students that I worked with, like I had a marimba student who like got into Berkeley on a scholarship to study with Nancy Zeltzman, but she didn't get into a university that was considered to be like a lower tier university in terms of percussion program because they didn't have like an opening available. So it's like, even if you get into one of the best on scholarship, you might not get into one of the lower tier ones because they just don't have the room available, basically. So anyways, so the video that I was mentioning, if you go to my home tab of YouTube, this is where you can find all the exercises. But if you scroll past the chop stuff, which I think there's like 12 more shopping sprees that are going to be coming out soon, so stay tuned for that. There's over 1,000 grid variations, all the limb independent stuff, the marching bass drum stuff, almost 500 of those. There's a bunch of drumline cadences. But the video I was talking about is under this drumming lessons playlist. Inside of here, if you go to this hand routine, Save My Drumming, where it says pain-free drumming on it, this is the one that gives you a better overview in 3 minutes of like all the different stretches and massages that I do. And some other ones that you might do if you do traditional, rotary, whatever. As well as if you have a carrier, a stretch that you can do for your shoulders and neck, which just like feels amazing. And then here's where you can find over 14 hours of tips. Now, I'm going to go back into here to show you. Here's where you can get to the triplet diddle variations. When you click on this playlist, it pulls up all these different variations that are triplet roll related exercises. And the one that I'm doing is the 4-count inverted version of triplet diddle. So we're playing with inverted diddles here. And we're just going to pick up where we left off. But again, if you use the timestamps in any of these play-alongs, you can go super slow, starts at 40, or you can go super fast, ends at 200, every click in between. Here we go. Most definitely. Let me show you in a second. Yeah, so we're at 106. So let me show you some stuff that can help you out with working on rhythms on any instrument. So guitar, there are some people who come into these streams regularly who are not drummers, who want to work on their rhythms and whatnot, and this can help. So where I'd recommend going is you can go into the limb independent section, and there are timing exercises in here. So 8th note timing, triplet timing, 16th note timing, and then timing transitions. So let me just show you what each of these look like real quick. So under like the 16th note timing, let's just go to a random one. We're going to say variation 4 from 80 to 140 beats a minute. You go into the timestamp and say, hey, I want to work on my 16th notes and I want to play it at 96 beats a minute. And then it'll count you off and you play through this. So this permutates, it shifts over different timing. In this case, it's 16th notes. So we've got all these different 16th note variations here for 1 16th note, 2 16th note, and then it keeps going for 3s, 4s, 5s, 6s, etc. So there's a lot of different variations of 16th notes that you can work on with this. And if you're like, okay, I don't really like this particular version, that's fine. There's 76 videos in here of different 16th note variations that you can work on to improve your 16th note timing or your triplet timing or your 8th note timing, whatever. There's a bunch of videos in here. Now, if you're like, okay, cool, but I want to work on transitioning from one rhythm into another rhythm. Well, this timing transitions playlist that has 64 videos has a bunch of stuff for that. So you can be like, I want to work on my timing from triplet into 16th notes, or from, I don't know, 16th notes into 32nd notes, or 16th notes into a septuplet, a sevenlet. So in all these videos, it's transitioning from one rhythm into a next. So for triplet to 16th note, if you go inside of here, we're going 4 counts of triplets, 4 counts of 16th notes, and then 2 counts of triplets, 2 counts of 16th notes, and then 1 and 1, and then it switches it so it's going from 16th note into triplets. So it switches it around on the meter, and it does this for all these different timing transitions, so you can work on your 5-lets, etc. There's a lot of variations in here, as well as some variations that are like 16th note into 5/4. Okay, so this is how you can work on that if you want to work on that. So there's a lot of things that can help you out, even if you're not a drummer, that can help you with your timing in here. But hopefully that helps. Anyways, let's scroll down. So I'm going to go back into the technique section. I'm going down into the triplet diddle, and we were at 106. So inverted triplet diddle, 4 counts. You're welcome. Slur that out. Yeah, this will definitely help with that. Just practice along. Thank you for the like. And then if you have questions, like if you eventually start teaching privately, if you currently do, if you have questions about like teaching, I do have a bachelor's, master's, PhD in music education. I've taught every grade, kindergarten through doctoral student. So feel free to ask questions about that, and I can help you out with your teaching. Okay, so now I'm gonna lower the heights and play it with more control at a lower volume. Just make sure that rhythmically all those inverted diddles and rolls sound good. Yeah, it's a little inconsistent. Dynamic-wise. Okay, now I'm gonna raise the heights a little bit. Now the goal is to make it so that it sounds just like a normal triplet diddle while playing the inverts. No changes. Rhythmically like that. Talking messes me up. See what I mean? Make sure you don't emphasize that double right on the end. As the release. Okay, so now let's raise the heights up a little bit more. So again, on the release, when you're doing... Don't end with a loud, like, second note on that release, on the double right. Well, thank you. You're welcome. Hello, Brad. Whoops. My wife brought me some matcha. +1 for wife. Late. Thank you for the love. Slurred out that roll a little bit. I'm so sorry. A word from today's sponsor, water. It tastes great. You should drink it. Use code Jared in the water shop. You'll get a discount of 7 waters. Play. Go. Another thing to like really focus on this last line right here, a lot of students that I work with, they'll like turn this single right hand into the roll into like a tap roll right here. So instead of playing and then having, they'll have that like gap in there when you need to just immediately go into that left. Just like that. As opposed to that like pause in there. So really focus on that interpretation of that space between that first single right hand into the doubles on the left. Pro tip. Pro gamer. Ew. Just thinking like, what would it be like to make an inverted version of like 3? So think how fast I want to get this. A little too relaxed, I think. This stick hit and then just woo, launched it. Lower the heights. So back when I used to teach drumlines, we would just like constantly cycle between the different heights while playing roll exercises or one height exercises or whatever. Because if you can't play a roll clean, all at tap height, then guess what happens when you try playing like some kind of an accent tap, whatever. Those interior notes aren't going to sound good if you haven't worked on the rolls at that volume. If all you do is work on your rolls at a higher height, then these little ones, thank you for the sub, aren't going to sound good. Raise it up a little bit. A little slurred out. Okay, now we're going to raise it up a little more. Little slur down on that roll. Second measure of the last line. Whoops. Same height. Much better. Yay! Higher. I'm actually gonna lower it. I've got like a cut on my finger that I got yesterday, so it like feels weird playing it too high like that. Yeah. Good times. I slowed down. Hitting my sticks twice on the very last measure. Cool. Yeah, so my pad keeps like sliding forward and to the right. It's weird. Don't know why it's doing that. Yeah, so when I'm doing this, I'm trying to make sure that I'm getting that like vibration that I talk about in a lot of different videos. But we want to have the sticks have enough space in the hand so that you can like physically feel the vibration and hear that hum as opposed to that when you're holding on to it too much. So I'm trying to stay relaxed on those diddles in particular, and I'm like feeling it, which is great, but sometimes I'm like making micro adjustments with my playing because I'm trying to refine my technique, and it gets me slightly out of sync with like the play along. So then I try and like work my way back into it. But 2 reps ago, I didn't. Whoops. Let's try this matcha. Oh, it's hot. Perfect temp, actually. Oh, that tastes great. Thank you, wifey. Okay. Let's see here. 47 minutes in. Let's get up to 150. I think we're at 140 right now, right? So how long will it take? So, yeah, just like 5 more minutes. And then we're going to chop out. Yeah. Significant progress on the inverted diddles. No. That was all mental. I'm so sorry. I'm going to give you a little, like, insight into what's going on there when I keep making mistakes. So one of the things that I'm doing when I'm practicing is not just thinking about what I'm playing, but also thinking about, like, what do I want to talk about? What do I want to share? What do I want to, like, work on next? So next up is, like, chopping out with something. And I was like, oh, maybe I want to play the normal triplet diddle. So just, like, with normal diddles, like... And we'll just, like, play that as fast as possible with the play-alongs. And when I was thinking about that, it made me play with, like, the normal diddle interpretation instead of these inverted diddles. It screwed me up. Whoopsies. What technique do you use, Hangman? Like, do you use a wrist technique? Do you use a finger technique, like a finger French? Or do you use wrist? Which one do you use? Few more reps. Slurred out the check, slowed it down slightly. Indonesia, welcome, welcome. Into that roll early. All right, I'm gonna play one more rep, and then Hangman, I'll show you a bunch of exercises that can help you out with your single stroke speed, whatever technique you're using. Yeah. I keep wanting to end the roll early. So this is the inverted version of triplet diddle. If inverted rolls and inverted diddles are too weird for you, that's cool. You don't have to do that. If you go back into this triplet diddle variations, There's also the normal version of triplet diddle. So you can play this at like whatever speed you want. If this is too fast, then you can slow it down. So again, this one starts at 40 beats a minute. Whoop, and it goes as fast as 200 if you want to go faster than what I just read it out. Okay, now as far as like speeding up your singles, fast singles in your area, if you go to the Home tab, come on, you can do it. There you go. And you scroll down here. We've got chop exercises, grid variations, limb independence, marching bass, scores. Technique is where you want to go. So inside of the technique, there's a playlist for you that has 61 videos. It's called Endurance and Speed Exercises. These exercises can help you speed up your singles as well as your endurance. So if you want to work on your endurance, you could do something like 16th note pyramid. So this exercise starts off alternating. That's late. It's time for bed. And then you do doubles, then you do 4s, 8s, 16s, 32s, and then 64s, okay? So 4 measures of just 16th notes, just whether you're doing like a wrist technique, or my wrist is doing all that, or if you're doing a finger, whatever you want to do, you can work on this exercise to work on your endurance for this kind of play along. You just go into the timestamp, and this one starts as slow as 20 beats a minute, and it goes all the way up to 160. Now, the reason why it starts slow is so you can refine your technique. In order to play fast singles, you need to have relaxed hands. That's not just the fingers, but also your hand, your forearm, even your shoulders need to be nice and relaxed. If you are tight in these different areas, then it's going to constrain your motion and make it so you're not going to be able to move as fast. So if you practice this stuff slow, so like start this at like 40 beats a minute or something, and you just go, okay, I'm going to work on my singles. I'm going to stay nice and relaxed as possible, letting that stick continue to vibrate, staying nice and loose while doing this. Then you'll eventually be able to play it fast. So the exercise that I was working on today, the inverted triplet diddle, I started it a couple streams ago at 40 beats a minute and just let it go one click at a time. I've been drumming for almost 30 years, and I still slow things down to 40 to refine my technique. So if you are newer to drumming, certainly you can do that too. In fact, when I used to teach privately, I recommended all my students to do this so they could refine their technique. So get out of the way of your playing, and that'll make it so that eventually, as you work on your refining your technique, then you'll be able to play fast. Now, there's some other exercises in here that are great for working on your singles. Like, for example, the stick control variations with filler are a great way to work on your singles. So, like, stick control with filler. Instead of playing just the normal sticking pattern where it's all 16th notes, this fills it in. So we have right, 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 left, right, 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 left. Okay, so. And then this measures the exact same thing, except you're filling it in with left hands. So these are some other exercises that you can play to work on increasing your single stroke speed. If you want some other ones, like from singles into doubles, there's all these like single doubles variations. Like this exercise that goes check, singles, check, doubles, check, single doubles, check, double singles. And then it extends it so it's longer. So this is a really cool exercise that you can work on to work on your single strokes into your double strokes, which rhythmically sound the same. But to work on this again, slow this down really slow. I'd recommend starting around 40, but if you want to go slower, you can totally do that. And slowly speed it up, and that way you'll get faster at it. Hello! How's life been treating me? Good, good. Very good. Thank you for asking. And there's a ton more exercises in here, 61 that are related to working on your singles, doubles, endurance, speed, etc. The first link that's at the top of every one of these thousands of play-alongs takes you to my website, which is where it's organized neater. There's 62 chop exercises in here. There's over 1,000 grid variations in here for triplet and 16th notes. Some wacky ones down here at the bottom too. Limb independent stuff. I was practicing that yesterday. You can now practice it tomorrow morning. We've got almost 500 marching bass exercises to work on your timing, your different splits, etc. We've got a bunch of drumline cadences. This is where you can find that endurance and speed playlist that I was just referencing. And then this is where you can find the triplet diddle exercises that I was playing. There's over 14 hours of drumming tips in here when people ask questions. And then here's some scripted lessons like how to hold traditional grip, etc. I don't know what that says. Sorry. Okay, now in the chop section, I'm just gonna chop out at the end. I've spent the better part of this last hour just working on my inverted diddles, so now I'm just gonna play through a chop exercise just for fun. What do I want to play today? I'm having a debate. Do I want to do a chug variation? Do I want to do a float drag variation? Let's do float drag with flam drags. This is the classic exercise. And we're going to start off at a nice, comfortable 140. If you need to go slower, you got timestamps to help you go slower. So this exercise is developed by Tom Float. He uses flam drags and float flam drags, which is the 5-lit version of flam drags. Starts off with check, check. Drag, drag, float drag, flam drag, float drag, drag, drag. Off the left. Float drag. Okay. So first half is check. We have flam drag. Float flam drag is this 5-lit pattern with a diddle on 2 and 4. Okay? So when you have a float flam drag or a float flam 5, that's what that means. So like a float flam 5 sounds like. Yeah, they're fun. Float cheeses. Faster. Now, because this is just me chopping out, just having fun with this at the end of my practice session, after spending the better part of an hour just refining stuff slower, I'm jumping up by 10s, but normally I just recommend going by 1. Did you take some goof juice this morning? You got some goofy questions. Just curious. Maybe you took too high of a dose. Just wondering. Let's try to 180. I'm trying to get to the point where my arms burst into flames. Stay tuned. Today's episode of Hit Drum Fast. Let's try 190. 190. Let's try it. Why, hello. tired goofs. Now, we're at like the speeds where like the technique breaks down, but this gives you data for what you can practice next. So again, I spent almost an hour just playing some stuff slow. By playing this fast, I'm saying, ooh, I could work on my flam taps. So maybe next time I'll practice flam taps and I'll slow it down to 40 beats a minute and slowly speed it up. Now, because we're almost at the maximum speed for this particular play along, unless, you know, we put it at double time speed, we're going to just try it at 200. Is it going to sound good? No. Will we have fun trying it? Yeah. Came off the stick on the check on my left hand. Don't do that. All right. If you want to find that particular play along, if you go into my home tab, it's in the chop section. So if you scroll down, weep, it's inside of here. So that was one of the float drag variations, but there's 62 other chop exercises in here. Like this one has flamus in it. This one's got a few different versions of cheesy poofs. We've got 28 chug variations. Some shopping sprees. There's actually like a dozen more that are going to be scheduled to release, so stay tuned for those. We're going to have a ton of them. There's over 1,000 grid variations. If you click on this header right here, this shows you all of the grid variations. There's also limb independence. There's marching bass drum stuff, so you can work on your splits to practice, because, you know, it's hard to practice the marching bass stuff, so check out the splits timing. That can help you with that. Or if you just want to work on your normal timing as opposed to simulating splits, check out the timing exercises in here. There's a bunch of them. We've got drumline cadences. There's a few hundred technique exercises. Again, this is where I was practicing in here. So inside of here is where you can find that endurance and speed playlist that I was mentioning earlier, as well as the inverted versions of roll exercises inside of here that I was practicing. If you want over 14 hours of free drumming tips, this playlist has a bunch of questions that I've answered on different streams. We've got some scripted lessons, and then you can find all of the prior live streams with timestamps showing what I was practicing or what I was talking about inside of each one of these. So there's literally thousands of videos for free. If you see a video that says members first, there's over 400 of them, like this one. That just means it's scheduled to release to come out for free. So if you want early access, you can pay 99 cents by clicking the join button, like right here. And then that's how you can get early access to it. Otherwise, just wait. Like this one comes out on Monday. This one comes out on the following Monday. And then every day there's a new play along that releases every day. Again, there's over 400 scheduled, so it might take a year and a half or so until one of them comes out, but it'll eventually come out for free. What do I think of the new Mario Kart? I haven't played the new Mario Kart. Is it good? But anyways, if you enjoy these free exercises, share them with somebody else. Just be like, hey, friend, you want to work on your flam drags? Check out this grid variation for flam drags. If you don't enjoy these free exercises, share it with your enemies. They'll be like, ew, I don't want to work on flam drags. And you'll be like, I know. Mwahaha, evil. You know, the typical. Okay, anyways, I'm going to call it here. I'm going to, probably in about 15 or so minutes, I will start playing, what's it called again? Human Fall Flat, I think. Where's it at? Yeah, this one, Human Fall Flat. So, goofy game. We'll do that here in probably 15 or so minutes. You don't know if Mario Kart World is good? Sweet. Well, I'm glad to hear the music's good. You played traditional grip most of your life? Trying to find your chops with your match grip? Yeah, there's... If you're rudimental, any of these chop exercises will be great. So there's 62 chop exercises in here. So any of these would be a lot of fun. But as somebody who marched traditional grip, who now plays exclusively match grip, most of my time is actually spent on these technique exercises. So like in this particular stream, I spent like the first hour working on a triplet diddle variation with inverted diddles. And then I just spent the last few minutes just like chopping out for fun. So for me, I personally like to just take an exercise slow and slowly speed it up. Like, I don't know, diddle timing exercise. So if we go into like the diddle timing, I'll be like, cool, I want to play just the first variation inside of here. And then I'd start at 40 beats a minute and just slowly let it speed up. Playing stuff slow is going to help you to refine that left hand technique to make it so that you can play match grip better and get it so that it will sound good. So some people confuse me for like a tenor player, but I'm Mark Schneer. So I'm at a point now where like my left hand is getting close enough to my right hand that some people confuse me for a tenor player. So it just takes time. When I first started, my left hand looked completely different, and after like a significant period of time just continuing to refine it and whatnot, I've gotten better at it. In fact, there's a video coming out in a week and a half that talks about how it shares the stories of how I went from center snare to end snare twice. So stay tuned for that, a little teaser. Anyways, I'm going to call it here. I hope you enjoy these free exercises. And again, if you don't, share it with your enemies. But goodbye.